So I wanted to come on here and give you guys some tips of how you can kind of tackle your stability and kind of map it out, right? The biggest thing that I like to do when I'm kind of seeing where I am in life is I like to do a mind map. So what mind mapping is where you basically take a piece of paper and you draw a circle in the front of the page or the middle of the page, and from that circle you do lines. And now these lines represent any area of your life that affects you mentally, or that affects your mental health, right? Or it can even like just affect you periodly or period in a negative way. Um, so from that circle, so if you were going to do it, you would from that circle, like in the middle of the circle, you would write mental health, and then or like stability, and then from those lines, you want to draw a circle at the end of those other lines. And some examples of those circles, or what could be in those circles, is school, relationships, career, finance, health. And then from like the health circle, you want to draw maybe four more lines, right? Because then you want to put, what are the main four areas that affect us health wise? Well, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. So, and once you have all of those kind of bubbles drawn, you have your mind map. So, and it's a great tool to use. I mean, I've used it with like a lot of past clients when I used to counsel, and with a lot of kids as well. So, and mind mapping allows your brain to get some rest. And while us humans, we have um, just this amazing brain that is just so complex, and we think that it can do it all. There's so many areas of the brain that we don't know about, so you want to always give your mind ease. So mind mapping, I just feel as though is a great way for my brain to kind of not always have that map like as a mental visual, and actually see it on paper. And then from those bubbles, well, then you need to kind of map out, okay, well, what are the negative areas in those bubbles that are causing you, you know, um, to be unsettled, or that's causing you stress or pain, or, just really write it down. And I mean, this mind map can get huge, or you can branch out and from the mind map, once you have like your main concepts, take it to, just a regular notebook. And actually then, like for instance, with the um, health circle, and then of course you've got the line with the physical bubble, you know and let's say you put, that you've been having a lot of headaches, or you're stressed, you're always worrying, you don't feel as though your body's right, you're comparing yourself to other people on the gram. Write down what is really bothering you mentally, or well, not mentally, physically, or mentally about your physical self. And then, or even if it's something, like I said, headaches, something that's really bothering you physically, then research. You have to do it for yourself. If it's something physically that you can't change, but you're just praying to God, you wish you could. It's just you have to kind of find ways to cope that, and let go. There's a lot of coping skills as well that you can research to kind of help with that. And then, I mean, let's say another one of those bubbles is, emotion. Maybe you're depressed, angry, you're feeling jealous, guilt, frustration. Try some affirmations. You know, um, Maybe even do a gratitude list, where you write down the things that you're grateful for. Talk positive to yourself. I am my biggest cheerleader. Sometimes I can cheer myself on, not even noticing, because sometimes I actually talk out loud. Like, I mean, it's just ridiculous, but I have that, like, I get that from me being in college and with it being just me kind of cheering myself on. So that's just where I get that from. But I am my biggest cheerleader, and that's what you have to be as well. And then with all of the other circles, like I said, you have to do research. You have to kind of, you have to put in the work, because if you don't, well, I mean, you have to answer to that responsibility, or the lack of. So just, I know this may not be probably the best tips, but I didn't want to really give too many tips because, or too many main tips because you have to do the work yourself and actually put in that work. Another thing, especially in with a lot of people, I hear a lot about, oh, well, counseling. Like, I went to counseling and it didn't help me. My counselor, she wasn't helpful. She just stared at me. She didn't seem like she wanted to be there, or him. That's not an excuse. That is not an excuse for you to, okay, well, what about the next counselor down the street? Or a lot of people say, well, I don't want to go because I'm gonna feel uncomfortable. If you know that you need help and you need to talk to somebody, being uncomfortable isn't an excuse. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's not. You have to be uncomfortable to grow. And there's a difference between being uncomfortable and having that intuition that something's not right, right? So when you're uncomfortable, it is something that is amazing that's about to happen. So if you're saying, well, I don't want to go to counseling because it's uncomfortable, well, your spirit is waiting for you. Your spirit is waiting to heal. So while you're kind of being uncomfortable, is kind of like you're not taking responsibility for your well-being and your emotional and mental growth. So you can sit with that, and I hope you're okay with that, not taking that responsibility, because being uncomfortable is never an excuse. It's just not, or at least it's not in my book. Now, for the counselors or for the people that have went to counseling and they had that gut feeling to where, okay, well, this is not for me, it may have not been the counselor for you. A lot of places throw around this whole myth that, oh, once you go to your first counselor, it's going to be amazing. No, sometimes it takes 3 to 4 counselors before you find your one. So don't just automatically say, oh, well, I tried counseling one time, so it didn't work, so now I know. No, I mean, come on, like, what type of mentality is that to have? Like, you can't judge a poor counselor on you not continuing to make sure that you get the help that you need. So just keep that in mind. The first counselor may not be the best. The second one may not be the best. The third one may not care. But if you keep going, and you have to keep going for yourself, because like I said, nobody is going to take care of you better than you. I hope that helps, but I just really wanted to come on here and help you guys get a visual of how to tackle all of the areas of your life. But like I said, it takes research, and it takes kind of you kind of going out there and just thinking about ways to make sure that you're stable. So yeah. Okay, so I guess this was more so like a tool to help you with, yeah. This was probably more so a tool, not really tips, but still, this is a tool that you can basically use to, you know, think of it as a starting point. Think of it as a starting point to get you thinking about, tackling your mental health and making sure you are stable in every single area of your life. And it takes a while. My mind map now is almost bigger than an actual poster. And I have a lot going on in that mind map. But I, even with, like I said, the tears and all, sometimes that may fall some mornings, I get up and I get it done. So I hope this helps, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.